Hey Jared, I'm finishing my last few months of school, graduating college soon, and I want to get into real estate investing. Right now I'm searching the area of 4 homes on Zillow and Realtor.com. What are my next steps, and should I get a real estate license? Thanks James for the question. Hey everybody, Jared Jones, real estate broker of Jones Group Real Estate. About me, I've been in real estate for 19 years, sold over 3,600 homes to the general public. I've personally bought and sold 45-ish, 50 range properties on my own behalf for primary residences and flipping houses and all that kind of stuff. And I've helped investors flip more than 250 homes in my real estate career, from finding them, acquiring them, cleaning them up and flipping them out to a profit. So I'm gonna walk you through what I would do if I were just getting out of real estate school like James, and how I would take that person and scale it to a multi-million-dollar business in hopefully short order. My goal today though, and maybe a 2-part series, is to give you an idea of all the milestones you need to look for as you go. I find that new investors or people that are trying to get in the business, they get distracted by buying products they don't need, when a lot of the world has the information, you just need to tap into it. Not saying that the entire education will be free, but if you do know where to look, and my goal is to give you the areas where you can stop and focus so that you can enhance the learning curve of what you need to spend your time on, because a lot of people do spend their time spinning their wheels, and my goal is to help you get to making money quicker. Let me get started with this. The first thing that you need to think about as you're starting to frame your idea of being an investor is you need to get into the business first of finding motivated sellers, plain and simple. There are many layers of motivated sellers, there's many types, and so I'm not gonna do an exhaustive research here. I'm gonna give you few of my favorites, but there's obviously foreclosures, so people that are behind on their mortgage. There's tax, so people that are deficient on their taxes. All these types of situations create public records, which is a traceable event, which allows you to interface with these sellers, either in writing or in person at the door. But you have divorce situations. You have people that are evidently violating code enforcement issues, where you see the grass is too high, and there's exterior issues with the house. Yard sales can be an indicator that someone is going to sell soon that just may be motivated. I like general equity sellers. So another way to find home sellers that might be motivated is getting to people who have had the property for 20 years or more. They've owned an ideal piece of property that is like what you're looking to find, because obviously you don't want to mail everybody that's owned a house for more than 20 years. People that don't have an existing mortgage, things of those nature that you can actually have an opportunity to talk and interface with the seller and possibly buy it. You have estate sale situations. That's where someone has passed, left a property to the heirs, and there's an opportunity for that property to be sold as well. So let's jump into this first. Where should you start? You're getting out of college, your entry into this business. A lot of times people have the first challenge, which is how do I fund it, right? It is not cheap, it's not free. Real estate is a bigger price tag investment item. So how do you do it? Well, number one, I would tell you, if you do not own your primary residence, start there. Now the tools available to someone buying a primary residence are much easier than just an investor that's buying his first flip. So for instance, if you go through an FHA pre-approval process with a mortgage lender, you can get 96.5% of the money from the bank. So you requires a very low down payment. As I was saying a second ago, you need to find a motivated seller. You stay off Realtor.com, you stay off Zillow.com, other than to use them for a resource tool to find what properties have sold for in the area or what the schools are or data like that, but you're not using it to find real estate to talk to sellers. But we're gonna delve into that detail here just in a moment. But the first thing that I want you to do is think about what property will be the first property that you're gonna look at. And again, you might be thinking, well, Jared, I don't think I can qualify for 96.5%. I'm gonna get out of school. I don't have work lined up, or there's some gaps. Well, I'm gonna share with you how you can get into real estate without using your own cash. You can use other people's money and make a great living, and for long you will not have a cash problem because you'll have the profits from your own business to take care of that. But one of the things that you might do is pre-qualify for FHA, and the first place I would tell you to start is you can back up and you need to look in the areas that you would consider buying, okay? So if you did get pre-qualified for FHA, USDA, by the way, has 100% financing, zero money down. Those product types allow you to look at what you're potentially buying from a price point standpoint. So like I'm going to spend, you know, $180,000 on my first purchase. What do homes go for in the areas that I'm considering? So you want to consider starting, what is the retail price of my target area, right? You're going to get into the areas that are around you that you're going to consider working as an investor, and you're going to say, like, you know, what do these types of homes sell for in the end? Like, what's the as-is value, pre-repairs, and then what might be in a budget for a potential rehab here? What will be my final value price? So the thing is, like, if you are, you know, under a price of 180, and that only buys you a 2-bedroom home in the communities that you're at, you don't need to door knock and focus on marketing to homes that are 4-bedroom homes, for instance. You need to figure out where your target audience is and then go to them, okay? Now, in reality, the next step would be go find a seller, right? Have a conversation with a seller about selling their house to you. There's 2 ways you can do that. If you're completely cash strapped, door knocking is a way many investors start their process. They get a data pool like I'm describing, and I'm going to tell you how to get information to find these equity owners and how do you get to their addresses and how do you find these types of data pools. I'm going to share that with you in a moment. But the point I'm making is you have a seller, they have a lot of equity, they may or may not be interested in selling. How do you figure that out? Well, there's an easy way. You can go knock on the front door. Someone comes up to the front door and you're simply asking them if they've given any thought of selling in the year ahead. And so that becomes a potential prospect that you pursue. So you simply go and ask. And now again, I'm not here to do an exhaustive research on how to do a door knocking presentation. There's plenty of that information online. The next thing you can do is direct mail. Direct mail is a great way to reach sellers if you have the cost. Stamps are obviously the most cost prohibitive challenge with using direct mail, but direct mail is fantastic. So let's talk about direct mail because there's a little bit more to it than just door knocking. Door knocking, very easy to not mess that up. You simply walk up to the door, look in the keyhole, and knock, right? Direct mail, a little bit different animal, okay? So if you do direct mail poorly, it will cost you a lot of money to be a very expensive lesson. So I'm gonna give you an overview really fast on how to reach sellers by direct mail as well. So direct mail, you're gonna wanna make sure that it stands out. Many sellers, like everybody else, are going to be sorting their mail over the trash can, and you want to make sure that you do not use white envelopes. You don't use envelopes with security labels, the little round windows that are in the front that have the address on the other side. You want to use colorful envelopes, something that might include, that look like it's a birthday card or a wedding invitation. Something creative is the idea that you're after here. You do not want to use printed standard font on the outside. You want to use handwritten font. You also want to use a creative stamp. Stamps are very important. You don't want to use a flag, an eagle, a Liberty Bell, a standard blank kind of very formal looking stamp. You want to use something creative, like something Pixar put out or something comical, cartoonish, Elvis, something fun that might come from a particular person based on their taste. That's what you're trying to get at. Now, what's inside? Something very personal looking. The best investor letters that I've seen over the years are, they have lines on them. Okay, so it's, again, handwritten font with like, you know, yellow legal pad paper that looks like it was folded up and put inside the envelope for the person to read. If you're getting a good mailing list, the mailing list will have the first name of the person you're mailing to, which will create what's called a mail merge name for the inside of the letter. So it'll say, "Hi, David," "Hi, John." Whoever's getting the letter, it'll print right on in handwritten font, which is what you should be using. Ideally like a blue ink, so it looks like you actually wrote it out, and that's what gets put into the envelope. The more personal, the more realistic the messaging inside the envelope, the better it's going to work.
Hi, my name is John. I just got out of college. I'm looking to buy my first home. Your home looks great. If you sell it to me, you can avoid spring cleaning. You can avoid showing your home to 1,000 people.
There's all these great benefits of working with me to buy your home. As is, no problems, no pressure. Let's talk. Call me, okay? Very simple, nothing to go too far over the top. Now, that concludes the initial thought process, where you should stop, where you should start, what you should focus on, and what you should stop focusing on. So just want to cover some basics on how to redirect your focus. In the second video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can acquire property with no money whatsoever, how to make a very profitable business using other people's money, and also how you can acquire and amass a large investment portfolio of real estate with none of your cash in the game. So stay tuned for that. If you have insights and input on motivated sellers, feedback on what we talked about, particularly in this video, please support this channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon to make sure you're getting updates. Like this video, share it with someone you know that might benefit from it. I'll talk to you real soon. Buying a home in Central Florida is expensive. The Jones Group leverages latest technology and passes the savings on to you. Sellers list your home for just 1%. Buy a home with Jones Group, you get a $7,000 cash rebate at close. Don't let anyone you know buy or sell a home before talking to us.